stars. Well worth it. I bought the Yimby Tumbling Composter through an Amazon affiliate, Wayfair, for $97.34. It was fairly easy to assemble, and I instantly put it to use. It was about half the capacity of my old Earth Machine compost barrel, so when I got an offer for a second one from the supplier, Wayfair again, at a discount, I bought a second composter for $75. The compost tumbler is doing great. The first side has finished compost and the second side is cooking, and getting there. I bought a second compost tumbler. I posted pictures of it on FB, and while the second side of the first one is composting, I am adding to the first side of the second one. I'll soon use the finished compost to side dress my okra in the vegetable garden. I started the compost about April 10th, and it was ready about 2 months later. Don't believe the hype about compost in 14 days. 2 months is a lot quicker than the average compost pile. Of course, I was continually adding to it for about a month, so you could say it took about a month from the time I stopped adding stuff. I would tumble it back and forth and around every few days. It doesn't need tumbling every day. Just be sure to add enough dry brown materials, so your compost doesn't become a soggy, wet, anaerobic mess. Update: 1 year later, both my Yimby tumbling composters made it well through the rough winter, much colder and snowier than usual for this area. In spring I had 2 wheelbarrow loads of compost, which I put in my vegetable garden before planting tomatoes, beans, and okra. Now it is August 2014, and the garden is doing great, producing a lot of beans, okra, and beautiful, juicy, meaty tomatoes. I just emptied one of the composters so I can start a fresh batch while the other is cooking. I am pleased with the speed and quality of compost. As I stated earlier, the key is to add dry materials to wet stuff so you don't get a soggy, anaerobic stinky mess. I keep a sealed garbage can full of last fall's dry leaves and a bin full of dry grass clippings to add to the tumblers whenever I throw in a crock full of wet kitchen peelings and coffee grounds. 4.0 out of 5 stars. Very good for the price. For the price, I really don't think you can go wrong. Composting isn't magic. A black bin in the sun will break down vegetable matter. I have no doubt this will work. Assembly is somewhat lengthy, since you start on one side, and work your way around putting 7 screws in each section, which is a lot of screws. The first couple panels are a balancing act, making everything align. If you follow the pictures as drawn, it goes together fine. They even threw in a few extra screws and nuts, so I didn't have to run to the hardware store for more, which I've had to do so many times with kids. Shipping was quite fast. The good points: this might be the least expensive, or most correctly priced, tumbling composter out there. Why do these things cost so much? They're injection molded plastic. Quality is good. All the parts fit snug without gaps, misaligned holes, or flash/burrs which affect fitments. The poles for the base are sturdy. The plastic is thick enough it should stand up to time in the direct sun. All you need is a screwdriver and a wrench or pliers, for the nylon lock nuts in the base. The negative points, or things which make it cost less. It would be great if it had a catch pan for compost drippings. The mounting of the horizontal pole to the base is just 1 screw through both sections. It would be nice to see it slot into something welded on for more stability. I think a pole between both long sides of the base, to keep it from spreading with weight, would be a good addition. I may run a tension wire if the base spreads. 5.0 out of 5 stars. Everything I wanted at a great price. It's made out of a very durable plastic and the legs are tin. This works very nice for what I need. It is not super heavy, but it's not so light that it can be blown over and gets heavier as it fills up. I love the double chambers. It makes it easy for when you start seeing good soil to leave it alone and start on the next chamber. I am a woman, I only weigh 135. And it takes just a little effort depending on how full it is to turn it, but really once you get the hang of it, it is really easy. The only thing is there is no lock on it, so you have to make sure it is closed correctly, but I have not had any problems with getting rain or moisture in mine. All around I am happy with this purchase, and would recommend it to anyone who does regular domestic composting. Robin Hughes. 5.0 out of 5 stars. Works great. I loved the idea of this and it works great. I put it together by myself with a cordless driver and a wrench, but a second pair of hands to balance things etc. would have made the process much quicker and easier. I've been using this compost tumbler for almost a year now. My family of 4 eats a mess of fruits and vegetables, and this thing has really lived up to the task. The 2 chambers hold quite a bit, and it's fairly easy to turn. Of course the dark color helped the cooking process too, and the footprint is fairly small. I have just recently gotten to the point where I feel like it's time to empty chamber number 1 so I can let number 2 finish cooking. It's been several months and number 1 is a beautiful rich black now, with nothing recognizable left except avocado pits and some egg shells. A few things to keep in mind: this is a domestic compost, and it will attract pests and it might stink. It will probably ooze black liquid from cracks and vents. That's all normal. I haven't had any trouble with smell since I started adding more roughage, but the flies were fairly bad this summer. Remember, no meat, wheat, or citrus, and a handful or leaves or grass clippings. Well worth it. I bought the Yimby Tumbler Composter through an Amazon affiliate, Wayfair, for $97.34. It was fairly easy to assemble, and I instantly put it to use. It was about half the capacity of my old earth machine compost barrel, so when I got an offer for a second one from the supplier, Wayfair again, at a discount, I bought a second composter for $75. The compost tumbler is doing great. The first side has finished compost and the second side is cooking, and getting there. I bought a second composter